So, we've heard from the coaches. Now, it's time to have our predictions for week one. What do you reckon, Mick?
Yeah, I see week one as just anyone's pick, Peter, to be honest. The amount of players that are out of the competition in the under-18 representative nationals down in Tasmania, it's anyone's pick. The first 2 weeks are really going to be who gets themselves out there straight away and prepared to go. So, Valleys versus Commercial, game one. I've got Commercial to 2-1 over Valleys. QUT and Redcliffe. I've actually gone QUT to beat Redcliffe on the first game. Reasons is 9 players away for Redcliffe. Kedron Wavell 2 to East Carina League 3. I just think that there's less changes in the East team at the moment, and I think that the older ladies at the front will lead, where the 2 main people missing from Kedron are disappeared, other strikers. So North 2 over Ascot 1. I just think again a little bit of topsy-turvy in Ascot, and North have lost a couple, but I think the girls will play quite well. And University 3 to beat Saints 1. Again, I just think University way too strong, and Saints are very much a younger team building through there. So Peter, the way I see it now, if I look at my table for my picks, and I'm telling you, I'm probably not the world's best at this, but I see on top University with 3 points. I then see East Carina on 3, QUT on 3, Commercial on 3, Norths on 3, Kedron Wavell on 0, Valleys on 0, Redcliffe on 0, Ascot on 0, and St Andrews on 0. That's my roundup for week one, Pete. Run us through yours, mate.
Well, I've got it a little bit differently, Mick. And week one, I reckon Commercial will get over Valleys 2-0. Redcliffe, I reckon they'll just get over the top of QUT. I think Redcliffe have got a good young side coming through, and QUT, rough water for them, start of the season. East Carina Leagues, I reckon they'll get over the top of Kedron. Kedron, I reckon they have problems scoring goals, and we'll talk more about that during the season. Ascot over North, I reckon Ascot, probably just a little bit better than North, seeing North have lost a few players. And Saints over Uni. That's a tough one to call, I reckon, but I've gone for Saints 2-1 over Uni. So my week one league table looks like East's on top of Commercial, then Saints, Redcliffe, Ascot, all on goal differences, and the bottom 5 being Uni, QUT, North, Valleys, and Kedron. So if we look at the week one predictions between you and I, we've both gone for Commercial over Valleys. Just the score's a bit different, Mick.
Yeah, I just see there that Commercial have got the depth in the club, and I just think that Valleys are in a building stage, and I just think that they'll be able to just get over the top there.
Well, it's only the score, the difference, it's only 1 goal in it, but the difference, Redcliffe and QUT, I've got Redcliffe up, you've got QUT. Yeah,
again, Pete, Redcliffe just getting a Div 1 side together, which is fantastic, but losing 9 players on game 1. I just can't see that depth there at the moment.
Well, I think Redcliffe will get up, they'll be all fired up to play, and they'll come out like this is their grand final. But East Carina Leagues over Kedron Wavell, we both go the same way, just the score's different.
Yeah, again, I'm with you there. I just think the strikers are going to be the difference in that game. 2 strikers away for Kedron. I know there's 2.5 strikers away for East as well, but the strikers for East are the younger girls coming through, whereas the strikers for Kedron are their main strikers.
Yeah. So North and Ascot, we've gone different ways here. You reckon North will get over Ascot? I reckon Ascot will be better.
Yeah, I think the way North's finished last year, if they've kept that main core together, Damien's done a great job there, Damien Shirley with them, handing it over to Darren Smith, and Darren will have these girls fired up, that's for sure. He's out to win, and he's made that clear over the last couple of years. It's all about winning. And I just think Ascot have got too much turby at the moment. They'll need a couple of weeks just to settle in. Yeah,
well, I think a little bit differently. I think North have lost too many players out of their Div 1 side, and Ascot, sure, they're not too sure about Kazia, but they've got some other players, and they've been a very strong, close-knit club. I think it's going to be close. I think Ascot will just get over the top. And now Uni and Saints, we've gone differently there again.
We've gone way different, haven't we? So you tell me why you've gone 2 for Saints.
Oh, I've gone for Saints because I reckon they're a good young side.
Absolutely.
They've got a good coach, Steve Scott. He's been not at the helm, but certainly in the background with Sharon Simpson. Saints, they came on like a ship with a wet sail at the end of last season to make the final 5. I think they'll do uni.
Yeah, my opinion there is, and it's only my opinion, which is not worth a lot at the moment, but University's squad, it's just so tight. What I've seen, and I'm looking at the 2 teams in Tiger Cup, and University came out firing. They were fit, they were big, and they were actually strong, and they've got some great representative players there. No one of them, I believe, is away except for Emily Caton. So I think that, and sorry, there's 2 away. There's Emily Caton and Riley Brown, but I do believe that University have got St Andrews covered.
Well, they're 2 of the best young players in the University side. So if we look at the league table side by side for our predictions, we've both got East up near the top, and the first top 5 places are all based on goal differences. But as you can see, I've got Kedron and Wavell down the bottom. You've got Saints.
Yeah, I just think that Saints will need a couple of games to get together with the younger girls and just create a bit of bond there, and I think it'll take them a little while to get going.
So you've got University, East, QUT, Commercial and Norths in the top 5. I've got East, Commercial, Saints, Redcliffe and Ascot. We'll see how we go.
There you go, that's our predictions, Peter, for week 1. And let's take this opportunity to just touch base on the BWHA umpires for season 2018. As you know and I know, our sport is something that's so important with us, and it's great to see that the umpires actually do get a fair go in our sport. And we look forward to a friendly 2018 season with them, Pete.
That's right, umpires are important to the game. Mick and I both ex-referees of rugby league and rugby union, and we know how important umpires are. And this year we've got some really good umpires umpiring Div 1 in the BWHA competition. Of course, Lynn Carey McAllister, she's been around for yonks, and she's an ex-international umpire, now retired from doing test matches, but she's done AHL, she's going to be an umpires manager there, and at Super League she's an umpires coach. We've got Tara Leonard, she's another international umpire in AHL 2017, which she did with Carol Chandler, another international umpire. She went to the Hawke's Bay and Oceania Cup, and she's also done the AHL. Amy Ryan, Div 1 this year. Good work, Amy. We look forward to seeing you out on the paddock. Sue Sharp from the Gold Coast. She's an ex-international Masters umpire, and she'll be umpiring the BWHA Division 1. Then we've got another Masters umpire. In fact, she's been to 1 World Cup. She's going to do the one in Spain in 2018. That's Naomi Zerner. And then Miranda McNamara from Ipswich, another national championship umpire doing Div 1 in Brisbane.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to see Miranda come through the ranks. She's come through virtually with our children as obviously the umpire, and I know last year I mispronounced her last name and Mum was not so happy, so just let you know that I've been practicing over the season.
What, McNamara?
McNamara, there it is, Miranda McNamara.
Very good, Mick. And then of course Debbie O'Connell from the Sunshine Coast. She's done national championships as well. She's stepping up to the plate to do the BWHA Div 1. So we've looked at the umpires, we've looked at week 1, week 2. How do you see it, Mick?
Yeah, well, week 2 is pretty much, you see all the under 18 players coming back. So it'll be interesting to see who's tired, and I still think that's got a bit to do with my predictions, Peter. So Commercial... Making
excuses already.
Absolutely. Commercial to play East Carina Leagues Club. I've gone East 3, Commercial 2, QUT 1, University 5. I just think University, again, very strong. Norths and Kedron, I've gone Kedron to go up 4-2 over Norths. Redcliffe and Ascot, now that's the game you want to see. There's a couple of defectors, we would say, gone across to Redcliffe, and I've actually got them both at the moment. It's sitting at 2-2 draw. And Valleys versus St Andrews, again, I just don't think Saints are going to hit the start of the season where they need to be, and I've got Valleys 2-1. So if you look at my league table, my points for week 2, I've got University on top with East, and then you have Kedron Wavell, Commercial, Valleys North, and QUT all sitting on 3, and then Redcliffe, Ascot, and St Andrews. So Redcliffe and Ascot sitting on 1 point, St Andrews still to come off the bottom of the table at the moment. That's my predictions. What about yours, Pete?
Well, I see it a little bit differently.
As you would.
That's right. We might be the odd couple.
Yeah.
Commercial, I see getting over East Carina League Club 1-0. I think that'll be a tight game and a very close one. QUT and University, I reckon University's got the wood on QUT. They do play, they're both the universities, the two big universities in Brisbane, but the Queensland University side are very, very good this year. Kedron Waverley, the Norse. I know Emily Burrows is the wall, but Kedron, they've got the firepower to get at least one past her. Ascot and Redcliffe, I reckon Ascot will be a bit too good for Redcliffe. And Saints and Valleys, I reckon it'll be a 1-1 draw. So looking at my league table, I've got Ascot and Commercial on top, followed by Saints, then University, East Carina Leagues Club, Redcliffe, Kedron and Valleys, and then bottom of the ladder, Norths and QUT. So head to head, looking at our week 2 predictions, Mick, you've got Commercial beating East, and I've got you've got East beating Commercial, and I've got Commercial beating East.
Yeah, well, I just think with Commercial's week 1 having 10 players away and then having 6 players back from the 18s, I just think they'll be a little bit tired, mate. And I think East only having 3 players back will be enough to get over the top of Commercial.
Mm-hmm. Well, Uni and QUT, we both see it as a win to Queensland Uni. You're a bit bigger than me.
Yeah, I just see the strike power of University this year is something that they're not going to muck around, and they're in it to win it. So I just think that they'll get over the top of the QUT quite easy. And
Norths and Kedron, again, we think it'll be a Kedron win, but slightly different scores.
Yeah, I just, again, coming off Norths have got some good goals in them this year. I just know that they'll get them up front early in the season. And Kedron, well, again, they're 2 strikers back. So I think that they'll be back. They'll be tired, a bit sore in the legs, but I think they've got a goal in them each, and that's the difference.
Well, here's a game we don't quite agree on. Redcliffe and Ascot. You've got a 2-all draw. I've got Ascot up 2-0. How do you see it?
Yeah, what I see there is I see this as a bit of a grudge match. I really do. Players don't like players jumping from club to club. The big decider there, I suppose, if Angie Lamberts plays, then yeah, Ascot might look all right. But at the moment, I'm just seeing Redcliffe will come back. They'll finally have a full side, week 2. Arana Ascot will be there. They'll be playing with a bit of passion. I just see it being a very tight game.
And the other difference we've got is Valleys and Saints. You've got Valleys up, I've got a draw.
Yeah, I just know that Catherine Moore in Valleys there in the goals. I just think that Catherine's been working so hard on a game the last 2-3 seasons that's going to be the difference. I think the difference is actually going to be in the goalkeeping.
Well, if we look at the league ladder for week 2, bit of a difference there, Mick. I've got Ascot on top with Commercial, then Saints, University and East Carina Leagues Club being the top 5. Yours is a little bit different.
Yeah, I've gone a little bit different. I've got University and East Carina both sitting on top on 6. Kedron Wavell, Commercial, Valleys, Norths and QUT on 3. Redcliffe, Ascot, again, tied there. You know, I see them that tied on 1, and then St Andrews. I just think, again, just going to take a couple of weeks to get going this season.
Well, it's going to be quite interesting to see who's right and who's wrong. So, if you've enjoyed listening to us, stay tuned for more action at Redcliffe when we bring our first game. And if you want to see what Tom and Tony did with the BWHA and their predictions, click on their link too. We'll see you later. See you around. See you next time, Mick.
See you in 2 weeks. I'm off to the Under-18s Nationals in Tassie, so I'll see you in 2 weeks, and all the best.